So the thing that I like when you talk about is in today's environment, we can do everything right, but we still need to defend ourselves. Tell me more about that.
I, when there's, we watch the news, or I have stories from my 25-year-old daughter, or, my 40 and 50-year-old friends, and my, colleagues and everything. And my answer to why am I training? Why do I offer classes? Why do I talk about this every day? Why is this a passion of mine? Is because we can continue to do everything right in our lives. We can stay with people. We can go to safe places. We can get training. We can do everything right to keep ourselves safe. But the bad guy sometimes, somehow will get into our space, and I have to know how to respond to someone being in my space and how to respond to a possible attack, right? So I can do everything right, but somehow, some way, and I say that I can't stop that madness. I can't stop the person who is unhinged. I can't stop the person who is so angry at whatever situation in their own life. I can't stop them to somehow being in my space at the wrong time. Like I'm just in the wrong time, wrong place at the wrong time, right? The only way that I can stop that is by being prepared and by training, right? So I can do everything right. I can be aware of my surroundings, right? But somehow, some way, the bad guy has gotten into my space and has initiated an attack. What am I going to do to defend myself? What am I going to do to help myself survive? What am I going to do to keep the people around me safe? Right? That's what drives me every day and when I'm teaching.
So I think our students need to realize that we can only control a few things. The criminals have a lot more control over the situation than we do.
Mhm.
The criminal picks the time, they pick the
Yeah.
place, they pick how they're going to attack. They look for vulnerabilities and opportunities. And quite frankly, in a high trust society, there's all sorts of opportunities and vulnerabilities because we're trusting and vulnerable.
Mhm.
So I like what you're saying on that. And I don't think you should feel bad when things can spiral out of control and you say, well, why me?
Mhm.
Well, it's again nothing personal, with the exception of maybe acquaintance rape and those types of things that we run into, which is a whole different problem. But tell me, go
Mhm.
on from that feeling of your students that tell you, I wasn't doing anything wrong.
Yeah. Well, my first answer is it's not your fault. It is never your fault. I don't care what has happened, how it's happened, where it happened, when it happened. It's on him. And I'm using the word him because I'm talking in a bad guy. I'm talking male on female attack. Okay. So that's specifically what I'm talking about right now. And we can talk about every other kind of attack going on. But right now, just to be specific, I'm talking about the bad guy, the him on the her, right? Kind of experience. And I'm telling her in my class, you did not do anything wrong, right? It is not your fault. 85% of the time, we know the guy, right? We know the situation. We know where we are. We know exactly what we're doing. It escalates into an out of control, threatening situation, right? So again, reiterating, you've done everything right. Okay, you've done your homework. You've done some training. You're a little bit prepared, or you even just had a conversation. You've done everything right, but somehow, some way, someone is in your space and threatening your safety. Will you be able to respond? Right? That's what's really important, is what can we give women to respond with, right? Because we can't control, right? I can't control what other people are doing or how they're feeling. I can only control my response to them, right? So
So
you've done
yeah,
everything right. What are you going to do?
I've run into a situation more recently as crime has gotten more and more out of control
Mhm.
where the old answer used to be, well, if you just had better situational awareness.
Yeah.
Well, okay, A, first of all, what do you mean situational awareness? And B, the point of predatory criminals is they deceive you
Hmm.
to be able to get the proxemics to to the point where they can attack you. So I have a great, we may post this later on, of a male and female criminals who followed a woman for 24 miles before they attacked her. And they saw her withdraw cash from an ATM, and then they followed her for 24 miles so they could find the right spot to ambush her. Not her fault. We'll cover that at some point because it's an interesting case study along those lines. And also the attack ended up being a rear bear hug, picked up and thrown down to the ground. So that's an interesting case study that we'll cover. But I guess what I'm supporting you on is you've been deceived. You have someone who's planning an attack on you, even though you think you're doing all the right things, and they actually deceived you to attack you.
Yeah, the attacker is looking for the opportunity, right? And when does the opportunity present itself to them? If you somehow are that opportunity, you most of the time have done nothing wrong to be put in that place, right? And I don't care if you have done something wrong. My job, what I want to do, and what I think we're doing as a community is starting to give people the tools on how to respond to an attack. That's it. That's it. It's real simple. To me, it's very simple that way. But then again, I have that mindset of, you know what, the bad guy could be lurking around the corner at any second. And I'd love to live in a blissful world where I don't think that way, right? But, my life experiences have led me to know the truth about it, right? So I will be able to respond. So, and that's kind of our charge here, isn't it? Right. I want to put it in the hands of everyone to be able to have a response. Right.
Having a response, and yet I have to balance that thing as us as parents and us as instructors. We're balancing this thing of like, you should be able to go anywhere, anytime, dressed any way you want.
Yep.
And you should be able to enjoy yourself with your girlfriends and have some drinks. And then the flip side of that is, hey, don't do stupid things with stupid people in stupid places.
Right.
So we do know that there is a natural protective aspect that we need to be able to control our environment as much as we can. But the things that we can really control is our training, the equipment we bring, meaning if we looking at protective type of tools that we can bring, and also our fitness levels and our awareness. That's really all we have in the crime triangle, which is us, the criminal, and then the opportunity. Those three things, and we only have control over one. So I have that balance of we should be able to do anything we want. The realistic aspect is, as reasonable humans, we probably shouldn't do a lot of things that do end up getting people down a road that they can't get themselves out of.
Yeah,
However,
right.
I don't want to dismiss you as a young woman with limited experience, different kind of judgment. I'm not going to look directly at you, but I have a lot of friends and instructors who've said, oh, I can't believe some of the things I did when I was younger.
I know. And even not even being young, we were out over the past weekend and having a great time, and we're dancing, right? And I'm in a group of people. There's probably 5 women, 5 husbands. We're all hanging out. We are having the best time. I have a drink and I put it down on the table for a minute because great song comes on. I'm not even thinking because I'm having a great time. And there it is right there. I love that. I have to stop that. And I say so quickly, I wasn't even thinking. That's all it takes, guys, is it's just that 1 second, because the predator, right? The bad guy, he's got an eye on all of us, right? So in that second that I set my drink down, on the high top table, I turn around for 1 second, right? I do a little dance. I turn back around and I look at my drink. And I'm like, I just left that there for about 30 to 45 seconds. Okay, that's it. And that's all it takes, right? It takes no time at all. I have people with me. I am safe with people, right? With my people, but I don't know what's on the perimeter of those people. And we were all reacting to the same song, right? So no one was looking at my drink. So I turn around and I look at it and I'm like, well, I'm going to have to toss that. There's the answer right there. I toss the drink. I go get another one.
Yep.
That's
you're
it.
you're just being paranoid, Shannon.
I know. I love it.
Plus those $22 Cosmos that you order. It's a lot of money. But yet it can happen to everybody. I have a acquaintance who I was partnered up with and doing some training, and she's a former police officer, and she's traveling in Florida, and she and her female friend, are at a bar which is really crowded because there's that weekend is some kind of fishing tournament. And she ended up getting roofied. And I saw her on texting going downhill, and I didn't hear the story till I got back. The guy had literally switched drinks. She told her girlfriend, "Watch my drink, I'm going to the bathroom."
Yeah.
So the girlfriend's like, "Okay." Well, this guy was drinking the same thing as she was, and like, "Oh, look," and then switched the drinks. She still got roofied, and they did everything right.
Did everything right.
So let's wrap it up here and tell me the one thing that you want to get across to people about doing everything right, yet still needing to prepare.
That's just the simple fact of it, is we can continue to do everything right in our daily lives with the people around us to try to keep our bubble safe. But the world is the world. And we know the statistics. We know the numbers. We know the stories. I turn on the news, turn on your Instagram feed. It is just the hype right now of people getting taken advantage of, right? An attack happening when you least expect it. That is the opportunity. That is the reality that we live in, right? So you can do everything right. Okay. But if and when it happens to you and someone invades your space, an attack is happening, I want you to have the tools on how to respond to keep yourself and the people around you safe. And we can do that through just a little bit of training. Give us just a little bit of time, and we're going to give you the responses to help keep you safe.
Thank you so much, Shannon. Appreciate it. Great talking with you.
Thanks. Love it always.
We'll catch up with you later.
Okay. Bye.